Okay. Hi, I'm Ailey. Welcome to the fourth installment of Let's Just Watch What You Want to Watch, the podcast about movies that I have been avoiding watching with my beloved Grant.
This episode, we watched Near Dark, Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark. And I think back, for whatever reason of wanting you to watch this movie, I can throw a whole fistful of reasons at you. Should I throw them right now?
Well, you should, because this one I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like I've been avoiding the movie. Maybe just wanted to watch other things more.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should, because I'm a bit clueless about this one. I think I know that we haven't watched it and you've wanted to watch it for a while, but for me, it's less I think about not wanting to see this one.
Yeah, just that there was other things to watch.
Yeah.
As usual, I think it just comes down to I love this movie. It's unique, it's great, it's fun, and I thought you'd like it for that, just for that simple reason. But then you've got all the added bonuses of Lance Henriksen, who I know you love, and so how can you say no to watching any movie with Lance Henriksen in it? Bill Paxton's fantastic in it, and it's made by Catherine Bigelow. You're a fan of Point Break, but that might be because of Patrick Swayze more than Catherine.
No, I love
but it
that
is
movie.
a great hammy sort of 80s action.
Oh my god, absolutely. No, I absolutely love that movie, not just because of Patrick and Keanu, but it epitomizes the kind of movie I like. And Near Dark was quite the same, for the same reasons.
Did you have any preconceived ideas about this one? But I'd kind of already filled you in. But
yeah, no, I didn't with this one. I think I've probably just been like, okay, but we've got all these other movies here to watch. Like, I keep, I guess, referring to that situation, but anyone who doesn't know us or Grant specifically, we always have stacks of DVDs to watch. And I think doing this podcast, I'm realizing a lot of this, I think, is because my reluctance is just simply because I want to know what I'm going to get. And that is a massive theme throughout my whole life. And it's really becoming evident how clear that is with this. This movie highlights that especially. Like, I love this movie. It's everything I like about a movie. Yep. So,
awesome, which is everything I could ask for from doing this podcast. Well, and I'll take us on another quick divergence, which is that obviously I'm funny about things. Yeah, I have a bookshelf where when we're out and about, we find movies that are cheap or we want or think we need. I grab them and I keep them on a shelf of their own. There's a shelf of the to watch shelf basically, and that's where everything goes, and when the time's right we just choose from there. But I wanted to speak about the role of films that we've been doing for the podcast, and tying into these funny ideas that I have and how we tie things together and the link through and my compulsive and obsessive tendencies. We started with primer because what a great word and example of what we were doing. We're priming the podcast. We're putting our first layers down of something we're going to build on. So it was a great little funny nod of it being the first episode. Primer plays with loops, and it's all about looping and going in circles, and our next film was The Lost Highway. And although it doesn't play in loops, the whole film plays out like one larger loop. It begins at the end and ends at the beginning. In Lost Highway, there was the beautiful Patricia Arquette, and that took us to our next movie, Ravenous, which had the beautiful David Arquette at his silliest and best.
Yeah, we like to imagine he'd actually be in real life a little bit.
And looking into it, I should have said, and also with this episode's movie, it was 1999's Ravenous, as there are plenty of Ravenous films, but we were talking specifically about the 1999 version, directed by Antonia Bird. So Ravenous was also directed by a woman. And Ravenous takes us to Near Dark, which is, they're both westerns, and they're both kind of vampire films that neither film uses the word vampire in.
Yeah, I guess cannibal was used in
Ravenous.
But there is that vampire aspect, even though they put it under a Native American
Wendigo.
I want to say Winnebago.
Winnebago.
But yeah, I mean, it was very much a drink from me, you'll live forever, or you get sustenance. So
yeah, and we have the same kind of character at the core of both Ravenous and Near Dark. These cowardly characters, or not so much
can't
cowardly,
pull
but
the trigger.
Yeah, and put in these moral, ethical dilemmas where they tend to err on the side of civility.
Yeah, definitely. And that would probably be me. I want to think I'm the badass Bill Paxton, being fucking cool and shit, shooting up the club, but the reality is probably be the wimp.
So why don't you give me a rundown of what Near Dark is about?
Sick. So it's about a couple. They're young and fresh and good looking, and she's aligned with the bad posse, but she bites the dude, so he's got the issue, which the makeup is great. Like, he looks so unwell and sick. But he's a good country lad, and his conflict is his upbringing and TV dad and his sister, and there's no mom, and or now running with the rebels that are the vampire, or they live in the dark, and they're uncouth, they look like they smell bad, they look so great. Lance Henriksen's outfits and one-liners and hair, that rat's tail, don't even get me started. It's all great, and the sets and the music I was a bit fucking over. It's constant. But I liked it. And I liked it because it gave the telemovie aspect, and
the music is synthesizer heavy.
Very much, and it just I don't feel like it really stops.
No, I think now you've said it, I can hear
it. So then, they go through the trials and tribulations of him coming to terms with the situation that's really wacky. TV dad is looking for him, and it all comes to a crunch of whether he's going to make a choice about his new life or his old life, I guess. And the love aspect's thrown in, which I always like.
Yeah, there's a sweet romance thread through the whole movie.
Yeah, and how that needs to play out, and
it all plays out in a Western setting, they're cowboys. There's lots of leather.
Boots. Everything's dirty and dusty.
Yeah,
and
there's truck rides and dingy bars and shots of bourbon. And
gosh, you can't. I don't.
Shotguns and dust and dirt and tumbleweeds and horses.
And bikers in the butt. I think we have to
bikers in the butt.
Bars. The dude wearing just the leather Harley Davidson vest with the sunnies. I don't think we can do this without mentioning the similarities to From Dusk Till Dawn, Tarantino's movie with the similar themes, but
and
the bar scene.
John Carpenter's Vampires deserves a shout out as well for that Western vampire thing, and I'm not sure anything else did it before Near Dark, and if so, as cut and dry as here's a Western vampire film. Yeah,
and that bar scene was awesome. Bill Paxton should have won an Academy Award for that. He was so good.
He's so electric.
Oh my God.
He's giving 110, and also much like his character Coconut Pete in Club Dread, you can see he's actually having a ball playing that role. Like,
oh gosh,
it's
was
not just like
made
he's
for him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like he nails it. You don't take your eyes off him. That scene is worth watching the movie alone, in my opinion. It's a great scene, and the same in that same way that scene in From Dusk Till Dawn with the titty twister. It's the same aspect, isn't it? If you just watch that scene alone, you'd probably be satisfied.
Yeah, totally. Overall, I don't think Near Dark is some absolute masterpiece, but that scene in the middle is.
Yeah, definitely.
And it kind of lifts up the whole film, just having that scene in the middle. And this scene's long. It's probably a good 10, 15 minutes long. It's 3 songs and... Yeah, it's terrifying, it's funny, it's witty. It's
great. It's got all the things that you want in a Midwestern bar. It's great. The characters are great. Yeah, there's crazy shit going on. No one's batting an eyelid for the first bit, and there's great hair. It's good. And
it plays fairly tight to traditional vampire lore. Probably another reason why I'm happy to sing the praise of this film, and it's 1987 that this was made, Near Dark, is that I'm not a vampire fan. I could give 2 shits about vampire movies. There's lots of vampire movies I love, but more often than not, I'll love them because they're good or interesting, not because they got freaking vampires, and if anything, I actively avoid vampire movies.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of about this one, that if I can be very like that with vampire movies as well. And I'm the same. I've got a lot that I like now that we talk about, I'm like, oh, I actually quite like a few, but not because they're vampire movies, because
there is literally hundreds of vampire movies. There's bound to be some good ones.
Few, I did like Blade and Bram Stoker's, and though, so I agree. So that may be one reason that might have made me sort of go, well, I might go over here and suggest another movie, maybe.
Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yeah. So I guess for me, wrapping how I feel about this movie up is I'd recommend it when you just wanted to watch a real easy night, cool 80s movie. Anyone who likes 80s movies, I think I'd suggest this too. It's got all the greatness about it. It's it's all the reasons why I like Point Break. It's a movie you watch. It's good. It's really enjoyable. You like the characters. It's visually cool, and it's all nice and tidy. And
unlike probably a lot of films I want to push to watch, it's not complicated. There's not a lot to consider and think about. It's totally, you can shut off and just
and because it's a real world setting. It's not some fucking astro traveling vampires or olden day. It's just like vampires in the 80s, country town.
Yeah, if you like 80s movies, this is for you. If you like synthesizer soundtracks,
this is definitely
this
for
one's
you.
non-stop.
If you like cowboys. Well done, Catherine Bigelow, because, again, I think this is what I like movies to be, and I think why I avoid so many other kinds of movies, because this kind of movie is made. It's easy cheese. It's... But not to really, disrespect it.
Although it has a lot of TV qualities, I think that might come from the era. There are some really nice, well-composed shots in there, and Lance gets a lot of them.
Oh my God, does he have his own lighting guy or something? He's at one point lit from the bottom
and he's standing underneath a ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan's going slow, and that shadow's just slowly wiping over his face. It's
I will never
gorgeous.
Be that cool. Ever. Yeah, I agree. They totally did him justice, and Paxton. It was almost made for him, really, his part.
Would I be off the mark by suggesting that perhaps a bit of your Lance Henriksen love has come from a previous movie I may have want to to push on you that you didn't want to watch Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love Lance.
Haley's just gone into dream space, staring into nothingness.
Well, that's his premium Lance movie. If
Is.
anyone else is a Lance fan out there, or just like to look at a good hot bod of a man, then that's the movie you want to watch.
There's some Pumpkinhead. He's so rugged. He's got that dusty,
It's
sweat
sweaty
stains,
and grimy
singlet,
and this one is a great co-piece to Lance, showing Lance off, because he's got sick costuming in this one. His hair is fucking second to none. Patrick Swayze in Point Break, perhaps that is good hair, but like, yeah,
it kind of fits in this era of Point Break, Near Dark, like the first Terminator film, Aliens.
Yeah,
it's got all the same core characters. For anyone that's interested, Catherine Bigelow, the director, was married to James Cameron at the time, I'm pretty sure, and he was making Aliens, which had Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, and Jeanette Goldstein in it, and those three are in Near Dark as well. So if you're like Aliens, it's kind of interesting to watch Near Dark as a companion piece to what that group of actors were doing together. It's it's got like this family feel to it.
And I wonder if that's why the characters and the actors, it just works so well. I wonder if that's part of the chemistry.
Family, yeah, absolutely.
Because that family are great. Like, they're like the 80s. Who are those Rob Zombie family? With Sherry Lee and that family that anyway, the ones that are in his movies, but it's like a better 80s version. Like, you know, they're on the run and they're fucking sick. Like, everyone's hair's cool and outfits. But
there's some great hairdos in there.
Yeah.
The bar lady. How marvelous is that bar lady? And they just slice her throat and sit there and drain her into a pint glass, and then they all sit there and share a pint glass of blood together.
And no one's really doing anything except trying to be cool at that point. I like that.
It's got a real strange tone that moment, because the bar music's playing and
people are still playing pool at that time.
and they're so cool and casual about sharing this jug of blood.
And they're also quite imposing at that point already. Like, you can tell that everyone is being cool, and it's for that bar feeling, but I get the feeling it's also everyone's just trying to suss out what the fuck is going on, because these people are a bit like extra special in a bad way.
And another character I think needs a little illuminating is Homer. I think his character kind of makes all the dynamic a little different. I mean, Homer's played by, I guess, a 13, 14-year-old boy, and the story is he's an old man vampire trapped in a young boy's body, which has been done a million times.
Which is great, but he's pissed off about it.
Yeah.
He's resentful, and they that's not a huge theme of it, but they let you know that
because
that's a thing.
Diamondback must have turned him. And
so
he's kind of a son to her.
Yeah, and she, like, coddles him a bit, even though he's an old man in a little kid's body.
Yeah, and I guess Lance Henriksen turned her.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And he's turned May,
turned
and now
May.
May's turned. Yeah, we're just working our own little Near Dark chronology here.
I'd highly recommend this movie to anyone who likes movies, probably. Yeah,
as long as you know it's 80s, it's got a vampire twist. There's some great 80s action, like shotguns, and like there's gunfights in it.
Great. It's just great characters, great fun, super fun. You know, I would recommend this as like an awesome hangover movie or something, like where you're just on the couch going, I don't want to think. I just want to watch and have a good time.
Yeah, if you're into action, horror, sci-fi from the 80s, early 90s, you're remiss if you haven't caught Near Dark from 1987 yet. It's highly recommended.
Thank you for this one, Grant. I would definitely rewatch this. I would definitely take this one and put it on my laptop in bed at night time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching it.
I enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Great pick. I will be forwarding it on and recommending it highly.
Okay, we'll see what's next when we get there.